Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Gold Rush, Parker's Trail Season 4 filming in Australia. Recently, TV shows Ace revealed that Gold Rush star Parker Schnabel was headed to Australia to gold mine for Parker's Trail. He and his team are there, and John Schnabel's grandson has found some pretty huge chunks of gold. Parker Schnabel finds huge gold nuggets in Australia. Although Gold Rush Season 12 just started airing on Discovery in October, Parker's 2019 Klondike season is over. In mid-October, TV shows Ace reported that Parker and his trail gang are all headed to Australia to film the 4th season of Gold Rush, Parker's Trail. Gold Rush, Parker's Trail, or as Parker calls it, the trail is Parker's side project with Discovery. He gets to visit some pretty cool places, all for the love of gold mining. He told Monsters and Critics that he wanted to search for gold somewhere new. Unfortunately, those places that are rich with gold are not the safest places in the world. This is how they wound up in Australia. But there are other dangers there, as he explains that there are more laws, regulations, and enforcement in Australia than in the other countries we've been to. Parker's group will venture all over Australia, seeking gold. It looks like he has already found a golden treasure. Parker shared an Instagram post of himself holding up 2 gigantic gold nuggets. Wow, could this be Parker's biggest stash ever? Gold Rush, Parker's Trail started as tribute to Grandpa. In the first 3-episode series, he honored his beloved grandpa, John Schnabel, by going old-school Alaskan mining. Parker, along with Rick Ness, Carla Ann, and cameraman James Lavelle, took the old mining trail, like the gold miners of old. We watched Rick Ness huff and puff his way through this grueling adventure, but they made it, and there was even time to mine old style and get some gold. In the 2nd season, Parker and the gang headed out to the jungles of Guyana. Everyone knows what a disaster this was for Todd Hoffman's team, so the question was whether Parker could do better. Of course he did. Parker was trained by the best, John Schnabel. Carla Ann was back, as was Rick, although he had just left Parker's crew to head out on his own in the Klondike. But apparently things with James Lavelle didn't go so great. So there was a new cameraman, Sam Brown. He got to film Parker in the throes of some absolutely awful jungle bug, in between mining in this gold-rich but challenging country. Gold Rush, Parker's Trail in Papua New Guinea. Last season, things got super personal as Parker and crew went to Papua New Guinea. This is where John Schnabel had been stationed during World War II. Parker wanted to go there to mine, and to fill in some blanks in John's past. Rick Ness did not join him in this trip, but instead, Fred Lewis, who was a Special Forces medic, came in. Along with Sam and Carla Ann, the team had quite an adventure. Season 4 of Gold Rush, Parker's Trail promises a new kind of adventure, one that takes Parker Schnabel and his team far from the familiar goldfields of North America and deep into the rugged heart of Australia. This season, Parker is leaving behind the snow and icy rivers of Alaska and the Yukon to embark on a bold new quest across the vast, sun-scorched land down under. Known for its untapped riches, legendary mines, and perilous landscapes, Australia presents both opportunities and challenges that will test Parker and his crew like never before. Australia, often dubbed the Lucky Country, has been a fabled destination for prospectors for more than a century. Its vast outback, red deserts, and ancient riverbeds are believed to hold some of the world's largest reserves of gold, but extracting it is no simple feat. The idea of traveling to Australia, one of the world's harshest mining environments, is daunting. However, for Parker, it's an irresistible challenge. He is determined to prove himself in new territory, driven by the knowledge that some of the richest gold finds in history have been made on Australian soil. A journey into the unknown. Parker Schnabel, the ambitious young miner, knows he has to push himself and his crew to new extremes. The allure of Australia's goldfields is undeniable, but the journey ahead is filled with unknowns. Unlike the mining regions in North America, the Australian outback presents unique dangers: searing heat, venomous snakes, and the isolation of land where help is often hundreds of miles away. Despite these risks, Parker is determined to venture into the vast interior of Australia, where fortunes can be won or lost with the swing of a pickaxe. The crew lands in Perth, Western Australia, the gateway to some of the most remote and untapped goldfields on Earth. With him is his ever-loyal crew: Rick Ness, his foreman with a rebellious streak; Carla Ann, his pragmatic wilderness guide; and Fred Lewis, the ex-military medic who keeps the team going through thick and thin. They know that this isn't going to be a standard mining expedition. It's a trek through some of the harshest terrain imaginable. But they also know that if they strike gold in Australia, it could be the most significant find of Parker's career. Embracing the Outback Challenge. Parker's journey begins with a meeting with local mining legends. These rugged prospectors have spent decades searching for gold in the searing heat of the outback and know the land better than anyone. They share their stories, some of triumph and others of heartbreaking defeat, but all are unanimous in their warning: Australia's gold is hard-earned. Determined to succeed, Parker decides to follow the trail of the old-time prospectors. He heads to Kalgoorlie, one of the most legendary mining towns in Australia, known for its colossal open-pit mines and its treacherous underground networks. Parker is immediately struck by the vastness of the land and the rawness of the mining operations. The goldfield stretches as far as the eye can see, a landscape dotted with mines, dust, and the remnants of old camps where hopefuls once sought their fortunes. His first stop is a meeting with Jonathan Porter, a renowned Australian prospector. Porter introduces Parker to the concept of metal detecting, a technique widely used by Australian miners to find gold nuggets on the surface of the ground. It's a far cry from the massive wash plants and dredges Parker is accustomed to. The simplicity and efficiency of this method fascinates him, but it also presents a new learning curve. Metal detecting requires a keen ear, patience, and the ability to discern the faint signals of gold buried beneath the surface from countless false alarms. The Great Unknowns. Parker's first attempt at metal detecting brings mixed results. He quickly learns that finding gold in Australia is a completely different ballgame. The soil is tough, the signals faint, and the competition fierce. Days go by with little more than a handful of small flakes to show for their efforts. The heat is relentless, and the team struggles to adapt to the intense conditions of the Australian summer. Parker's confidence is tested, and doubts begin to creep in. Has he made a mistake by coming here? Yet the lure of gold is strong, and Parker is nothing if not determined. One day, deep in the red dust of the outback, the detector emits a promising signal. The team digs and uncovers a sizable nugget, their first real find in Australia. The excitement is palpable, a moment of triumph that re-energizes the crew. This discovery proves that there is indeed gold in these lands, but it also serves as a stark reminder of how difficult it is to extract.